your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey, good evening to you. Tuesday night, and we're finding a little bit of a wind out there, but it's nothing compared to what is going to be with us late tonight and tomorrow. We're going to take these winds and nearly triple them from where they're at right now. So we're sitting at 13. Do the math there. We're talking maybe 45-mile-an-hour gusts by tomorrow morning. So we've had plenty of sunshine out there mixed in with a few clouds throughout the course of this afternoon. Temperature's not bad. Made it back into the mid-40s for highs today. But tomorrow we actually may make it to the mid-50s. We're also going to see rain chances on the increase. So we've got a lot to talk about here. Rain, the small chance of some snow, and a huge cool down that's showing up for Christmas Day. We'll show it to you coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A body was found in a neighborhood in central Illinois this afternoon where police are in their investigation. Plus, a man's in custody after 2 people were shot, where police say it all happened. And you'll soon see more stimulus money in your bank account. Why business experts say it's not enough.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
Police in Decatur are investigating after a body was found. Officers were called to the corner of Hayworth and Sunset Ave at 2:45 after a neighbor found that body in his backyard. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer is live outside the police station tonight. Jared, walk us through what police say happened.
Well, Paul, police haven't yet identified a victim, but they did say that this was connected to a kidnapping that happened earlier. They say last night a man was kidnapped behind Hair on Hand Beauty Supply Store on Water Street. A neighbor I spoke to says he was doing yard work when he found the body in his backyard. He says he called 911 immediately afterwards. The coroner did confirm that the man was 33 years old. They will do an autopsy tomorrow to determine the cause of death. That's all we have for right now. Live in Decatur, I'm Jared Farmer, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jared, if you get any additional information, please let us know. Thanks. Here's an update now to a series of shootings over the weekend in Decatur. Police arrested a man they say was connected to one of them. 23-year-old Amonte O'Neill is facing charges of attempted murder and aggravated discharge of a gun. He's accused of being among 3 suspects in a shooting that left 2 people hurt on East Hickory Sunday, one of whom is in critical condition. Danville police are investigating an armed robbery. It happened around 9 last night at the Family Dollar on East Main Street. Employees told police a man went inside with a gun and demanded money from the registers. Police say he took some cash and was last seen running from the store. If you have any information about what happened, give police a call. A man in Springfield was indicted in federal court this week for child pornography charges. 24-year-old Evan Taylor is also charged with sexual exploitation of a child. The feds say he distributed pornographic images, enticed a minor, and traveled with the intent to engage in illicit sexual activity with a minor. His trial has been set for February. The nation's highest medical officer is urging people in Illinois to endure the final mile. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams was in Chicago today. He joined the state's top doctor, Ngozi Ezike, to celebrate the arrival of a COVID vaccine. But he said he had 2 focuses today, the vaccine and vigilance. He said the holiday could cause a spike in cases and hospitalizations. While pleading with people not to gather for the holiday, Dr. Adams praised the state overall.
The real thing that I want people to take away is that the numbers here in Illinois and in Chicago are moving in the right direction. And we have a finish line in sight with these 2 vaccines. That's new news and that's great news. But we have to stay the course a little bit longer.
He said if you do have to gather, check the CDC's website for ways to do so safely. That includes ensuring good ventilation and isolating yourself before the holiday arrives. So what was he talking about in Illinois? Here are today's COVID numbers statewide. Daily cases did jump in the last 24 hours. The state's reporting more than 6,200 new infections and 116 additional deaths. But the positivity rate does continue to drop now at 9%. More than 4,500 people are in the hospital. In Region 3, 78% of ICU beds are being used. That's down from yesterday. In Region 6, it's at 73%, and that is a jump of 5% in just 24 hours. Now, while ICU bed capacity is at about 3/4 full with COVID-19 patients in the regions that we pay attention to in central Illinois, Dr. Ezike says Illinois has seen very low levels of flu hospitalizations. And while the peak of flu season won't start until next month, she says COVID-19 prevention measures are already keeping flu numbers low. Health officials are hopeful the trend will continue throughout the season. Another round of stimulus checks could hit bank accounts as early as next week, but it is much smaller than some were hoping for. Now, WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting joins us in the newsroom tonight. So, Courtney, what exactly did they tell you about that money? It doesn't seem like a lot compared to what many of us saw earlier in the summer.
And that's exactly what business experts say, Paul. They were very clear that the amount should have been much larger for a lot of Americans in order to really stimulate the economy. For single people, for example, making less than $75,000, they'll get $600. On the other hand, married couples making up to $150,000 will get $1,200. Now, we know that's compared to the $1,200 amount that single people received with the CARES Act for that last stimulus check. And for many, this isn't nearly enough to make even a dent in the debt they've racked up during these months of the pandemic. I talked to Jeff Brown. He's the dean of the Geese College of Business at the U of I. He said one of his biggest concerns is how the money is being distributed.
I think we could have more effectively targeted it to those families that needed the help more. And it would not only help the families most in need, but it would have also had a greater stimulus effect on the macro economy because the money would have been going to the families that were going to spend it, which is what we need to get the kind of the machine running again.
Now, if the money is going to people who haven't lost their jobs, for example, many of them are choosing to put it into their savings account instead of spending it. That doesn't stimulate the economy as maybe as well as for those who really were needing that money. The relief package, though, it does include an extra $300 for people on unemployment. Brown says it could have helped to actually direct more money to them as opposed to spreading it out to those, to include those who have kept their job during this time. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Yeah, there are surveys out there that have said millions of Americans are several thousands of dollars behind on both rent and utilities.
Right.
So obviously those people could use a lot more money. Courtney, thanks for that update. On top of the checks and the boost to unemployment, families will get $600 for dependent children. That's up from $500 from the CARES Act. The pandemic unemployment program will also be extended. It covers gig workers and people who are self-employed. Coming up, colder temperatures are on the way. How you can make sure your home is prepared for winter. Plus, a lawmaker is pushing a bill that would allow the House to meet remotely. Why she's making the move now, 9 months into the pandemic.